Some scientists say it's physically impossible to get through some of Hampton Road's yellow lights without getting a ticket. And they prove it to News Channel 3 investigator Lori Simmons.
She tells us more in her News Channel 3 investigation.
It could be the biggest money-making scheme ever.
Every city in the world actually uses the same formula.
Red light cameras synced with short yellow lights, making it physically impossible for drivers to avoid a ticket.
Laws of physics are unbreakable. Yeah.
Meet Brian Ceccarelli and Dr. Joseph Shovlin. Both are physicists living in Raleigh, North Carolina. Together, they are leading the charge against the red light camera industry's cash cow, short yellows.
They're catching people who are not running the red lights on purpose. And in many cases, it's beyond their control.
To explain the yellow light trap, Ceccarelli and Shovlin took News Channel 3 to an intersection in Raleigh with red light cameras. If drivers have a proper yellow light time,
They have time to either stop without entering the intersection safely and comfortably, or else they have time to proceed through it before it turns red.
But in reality, it never happens because Ceccarelli and Shovlin say yellow lights, especially in turn lanes, are just too short for the distance needed to travel, creating what's called a dilemma zone for drivers.
If you're in this zone when the light turns yellow, you do not have the distance to stop, nor do you have the time to proceed while the light is still yellow. You will run a red light. You have no choice.
The root of the problem, they say, comes down to this formula, endorsed by the Institute of Traffic Engineers and used both in Virginia and North Carolina.
Because the formula it only works for straight through lanes.
Not left-hand turn lanes, yet traffic engineers still use it, inadvertently trapping drivers.
You're hosed. The light will turn red before you enter the intersection. You will enter the intersection a fraction of a second, and the red light camera's got you.
So how did hundreds of thousands of traffic engineers around the country get bamboozled by this so-called incorrect formula?
This is Physics 101. You as an engineer should know this. I shouldn't have to explain Newton's laws of motion to you.
In 1959, the first yellow light formula was created by 3 physicists. But in 1965, Ceccarelli and Shovlin say that formula was miscopied into the Institute of Traffic Engineers handbook.
The Traffic Engineering Handbook is like the Bible that traffic engineers use. Once you get into the Traffic Engineering Handbook, they're like the words of God. The traffic engineers don't know any better. That's the problem. And so the red light camera companies come in and simply take advantage of the situation.
Like here in Hampton Roads, this 3-second left-hand turn yellow light at St. Paul's and Brambleton in Norfolk should really be 5.4 seconds, according to Ceccarelli and Shovlin. At the intersection of Jefferson and Oyster Point in Newport News, their 3.2-second yellow should be at least 6.1 seconds. And the 4.2-second yellow light at Independence and the Boulevard in Virginia Beach should be at least 7.6 seconds.
The light is really like 2 or 3 seconds short of what it should be for turning traffic. And because Mother Nature doesn't like to be fooled that way, it'll force many, many drivers to run red lights.
While local cities, along with the red light camera companies, cash in.
For 40 years, the errors were there, but nobody knew about it. It's not until you put the red light cameras in that are running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, catching every person who's a tenth of a second off.
Now, Ceccarelli and Shovlin say because most people don't understand physics, drivers fighting red light cameras in court have had a hard time winning. They say their success has come in actually bringing traffic engineers from the offending cities to the State Board of Engineers and proving that these so-called experts really don't know the math and science behind the formulas they use.